Welcome back to Authors in Espresso. I'm your host, Nadia Gilkes, and we are back with another Festival Flashback Friday. Today, we are going back to 2020 and revisiting my interview with Susan Johnson, author of Some Dreams Are Worth Keeping, where she wrote about and discussed her life with bipolar disorder. Let's take a listen. All right. Well, Susan Johnson is the author of Some Dreams Are Worth Keeping, a memoir of my bipolar journey. She is passionate about making sure that people have accurate information about bipolar disorder. She is a contributing author to the BP Hope magazine. And in 2021, she will hit the TEDx Tanea Paseo stage. We are honored to have her here today. Please help me welcome Susan Johnson.
I'm here.
Thank you so much. So glad to have you. I had you here today because we've heard a lot in the news about bipolar, not all of it good. Hint, hint, I'm talking about Kanye and his antics. And I knew that you had written this journey. So you are the veteran journey among us because your book actually came out a couple years ago, but it stays timely because people really need the education. So in your words, from someone who has lived it, can you tell me how you define bipolar disorder?
Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain, which causes euphoric highs, known as manias, and devastating lows to the point of suicide. And this is not just like, I had a bad day today. I'm depressed. I'm not feeling good. No, this is you need medication to survive.
Hmm. And I've read a bit of your story and I've heard you give a lot of speeches, and you have managed to live very successfully with bipolar disorder. How have you done that?
I do that by taking my meds, sleeping 8 to 10 hours a night, exercising, hiking, praying, lots of support from Toastmasters, a lot of friends and family, and of course, my cat and my husband.
Did you say your cat and your husband?
Of course, Angel and Johnson.
You put the cat first.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes in our house, Nadia.
Now, I heard you give a speech not too long ago, and I was really shocked at the statistics because you were talking about how you graduated college and how it can be an obstacle for some. And I believe you said 50% of people with bipolar end up dropping out of college. So, what was your motivating force in having the courage or the willpower to keep going and actually get that degree?
I wanted to finish what I started. I worked so hard. It took me, I went to 5 colleges in 4.5 years.
Me too.
And it was, it got so hard halfway through because I was so unstable and they didn't really know how to medicate me properly. And stress sets off bipolar disorder that I gave up. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then I entered the real world and worked with 2-year-olds changing poopy diapers and decided that college wasn't so bad after all. I returned to college and ended up graduating with a BA in sociology back in 1999.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, there is really no in between with children. Like you see a child and either your womb starts talking and you want kids, or you see a child and it's like the best birth control and you're like, let me do something else. So I think we mentioned earlier in some of our stories that some of these items can be so taboo when you talk about domestic violence or you're talking about the pain of a man. Some of these stories are so taboo. And I think bipolar fits right in there where we don't often talk about it. We brush it under the rug. We don't acknowledge it. So what gave you the courage to write this memoir?
Well, it originally was for my eyes only. And I never dreamed anybody, including my parents, would be reading this. But I knew after the 6 years it took to write it, that it could help people, it could break stigma, and it could bring hope to people. So I was willing to put everything out there.
And that's wonderful because I know a lot of people get inspiration from it. It's kind of like Verde was saying, when you don't see yourself in the stories, you kind of feel like, maybe it's not important, or where is my story? Where are people that are like me? And I think it's the same thing with the bipolar disorder. People are probably not getting enough of those stories, enough of those successful stories to really feel like, is there a path out of this? Is there a path to success? So I'm so glad that more than you and your parents saw this book, because I know that it has helped so many people. Now, what was your challenge, if any, in writing the book? Did you find any obstacles in writing about the subject matter or just publishing overall?
Absolutely. I did not have a lot of discipline for writing because I work in a school, so it's exhausting working with special ed students and then coming home and writing. So it's like, ugh. I worked a lot on the book during the summer when I had off. And I also had big obstacles because I got very sick writing the book. I had a lot of like PTSD. I would have bad dreams. And my psychiatrist said, no, you have to stop. This is not good. This is making you sick. So I did stop, but I knew in my heart that I had to finish. So I gave it some time off and then started to write again.
So you were able to complete this in the summer?
No, it took 6 years.
Oh, okay.
First.
Well, and that's okay. Some people take a long time. I've met people that have been sitting on a story for 23 years. Some people can crank it out in a shorter period of time, but I'm glad that you finally got through all of the obstacles and it went to print and we can hold it in our hands, because again, I know that it is encouraging so many people. Now, in the bio, it said that you write for BP Hope and you're a contributing author there. What other doors has this book opened for you?
I think you mentioned it in my bio, TEDx Panea Paseo.
Mhm.
And I call it AP after pandemic. I'm looking forward to being on a big stage and sharing my bipolar journey.
That's awesome. And because you have lived so successfully with it for so long, what is some advice that you give to people who maybe they're just getting a diagnosis or they're struggling with it, they haven't found the right dosage yet, or they just not sure where to turn? What do you tell people who are looking up to you?
I would say number one, take your medicine and never, never give up. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. So just keep journeying and you'll get there. You'll get to stability.
And who is your target market? Is this specifically for people who have bipolar? Is it for people who have a loved one with bipolar? Who's the best person to take away from your book?
They definitely, if you have bipolar disorder, if you know a loved one, but really it's educating everybody. I'm getting some wonderful feedback and emails on how much it's touching people that don't even have bipolar disorder. It's just an inspirational book. And there's a lot of humor in it too. This is a really dark subject, and I bring a lot of humor into the book as well.
That's absolutely necessary. Wonderfully put. Now, in your breakout room, you're going to be doing a reading from the book, or you're going to talk more about bipolar disorder?
I am going to be doing a lot in the 15, 20 minutes. He's talking about my bipolar journey, sharing a little bit about the writing journey, and
Mhm.
ending with a few questions and hopefully doing a little reading. So it's a lot of bang for your buck if you come to my breakout session today.
And we talked a lot throughout this session about self-publishing. Why did you choose that route? I'm glad you did, but why did you choose to self-publish versus trying to pitch this story? Because it is a topic that, it could be a medical journal, it could be a medical issue, but you chose to self-publish.
I actually started as a traditionally published and my publisher went under. So
Oh,
and became a self-published. And I actually like being a self-published author because I was able to put it out in more places than my publisher was even able, like Barnes and Noble. So
okay. So
it's been
that's
good.
an interesting note for a lot of us out there, because some people are waiting to be accepted or waiting to pitch their story and get picked up. And you did all of that, and then your publisher did not survive.
Exactly. And that's a big problem nowadays. Big time.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, are there any parting words that you want for families that are dealing with bipolar disorder? Because I can't imagine what's coming out of these trying times. Like you said, stress is a trigger, and we might see a lot of new diagnoses coming up in these times of, I call it the times of sequester, but during this pandemic. So people who are just about to fight that fight, what
Just
does that?
always hang on to faith, love, and hope that things are going to get better for us all with this COVID as well.
Yes, and I think that's something we all can cling to. Whether we have a diagnosis or whatever else comes up in our lives during these moments, clinging to faith and hope and keep persevering is so important. Thank you so much for being here. How can people contact you?
On my website, www.sjohnsonauthor.com, or you can reach me on all social media platforms or at somedreamsareworthkeeping@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today. I really wanted to highlight your story just so we can, one, break the stigma and correct some of those things that we see in the media with someone who is actually down to earth, has done everything properly, and is managing this successfully. So thank you for coming here, sharing your story, and I can't wait for your breakout session.
Thank you so much, Nadia. It's such an honor to be here with all of you today.
Thank you. A big round of applause for Susan Johnson, author of Some Dreams Are Worth Keeping, and that link is in the chat. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Authors and Espresso. This has been another festival flashback. Please follow us on Facebook, Authors and Espresso, and be sure to check in every Tuesday where we